Guys, this is our create an assignment tutorial for Schoology. At this point, I'm going to assume you have some other stuff already in your course, like your course content, maybe an update banner. The point of this one is to show you how to add an assignment so that you can have students submit work and assess them. The first thing you're going to want to do is navigate to where you want to put the assignment. That'll just help as you're creating it. And when you get there, you're going to want to either click the plus sign underneath right where you want it at. Conversely, you could just click the Add Materials button. When we click on it, we're going to click the Add Assignment button. When our assignment window pops up, we're going to start by naming the assignment. Now, when you're naming the assignment, remember that clear, detailed name descriptions will help in organization in your course and with students finding it online, especially if you haven't seen them in a while. We can also share assignments across teachers across courses, so clear descriptive names are always better than saying worksheet 1. Be very clear about what the assignment is. So I'm just going to make one up here. Unit 1, research paper. Your assignment can be whatever you want it to be. The description box is a place where you can give fully detailed assignments. This little window here can be at like a full page. You have every rich text editor option that you have when you're making a page. So you can insert links, you can insert images, tables of information. You can put videos directly into here. There's all kinds of things that you can use to build this out. Now, I'm not going to sit here and build out a whole one. I will show you a couple examples that I have, though. But regardless, fill in your direction. This would be the main portion of what the students see and read about what they should be doing. You can attach files to this, links. You can insert audio to give very clear directions. But you build the heart of your assignment here. Now, the Google Drive assignments, this is a separate thing than just a standard assignment. So when you think about Schoology, you need to think in terms there are two kinds of assignments that I can give. A standard assignment where they can submit work, or a Google Drive assignment where I give them a pre-created Google document. This is similar to in Google Classroom when you would attach a Google Doc and then say make a copy for every student. Okay, those are Schoology treats these two different ways, so we want to be clear about the two things. There's a separate tutorial called Create a Google Assignment if you're interested in that. Moving down in our app, we have a due date that we can assign. This is not required. Any assignments that don't get a due date assigned will get organized in your gradebook based on when the assignment was created. If you add a due date, you can shuffle that based on when it's due or when it was created, and you'll have control over that. You can set the point value, and you're going to have to assign it to a category. Now, Schoology comes with an ungraded category. This is just if you want to give something as a feedback. So if you have students turn in, say, a beginning of the year getting to know you slides, and you want that digital work, this would be a way to collect it, look at it, give feedback, but not count towards your gradebook. The categories that are listed here, formative and summative, those will be showing your category. So whatever you set up either in the earlier tutorials or when you were working over the summer or at the start of the school year, these categories will show up here as you created them back in that grade setup area. So choose the category that you want the work to go to. The period right now is that sandbox period. As I create this, we'll have our time period for the first quarter, first semester, once school's actually going around. A factor. This is a way for you to decrease the weight that assignment carries. So if you put it in as a half weight, it will lower the value, the weight that it carries against the overall grading. And you can control that from here. Typically, we're going to leave everything set at 1 and control weight within our categories. This box here that says Sync to SIS, that's our student information system, and basically what that one is saying is, do you want, when you grade this assignment, it to automatically go from Schoology's gradebook to PowerSchool's report card? Okay, so if you want that to happen automatically, leave it checked. I am going to prefer to control that on my own, so I'll be unchecking this so that I can tell when I want those grades to show up out of Schoology and into PowerSchool. The scale rubric that's applied to this assignment can be one of their 2 default ones. I talked about that in an earlier tutorial. But you can also apply your own rubric that you created to the assignment. Now notice if I apply a rubric, maybe my custom rubric, that it's going to automatically update the point value based on what that rubric is. Any alignments that I've made, any categories that I've made, if I had an aligned rubric, it would list those standards and learning objectives out here. But once I choose my scale, that's telling the student how I'm going to assess the work. Finally, we have our last options down here, and this is the individually assign button. If you don't do anything with this, it's going to assign it to every student in the section where the assignment is created. If you want to learn this, I'll talk about this in future tutorials, but basically you can control who the assignment goes to. You can group students out, so you can do things like group 1 gets a copy, group 2 gets a copy. I'm going to be using this to have ELL copies created for students. Maybe my students with IEPs or 504 accommodations will be grouped as something different. So this is where we can really control that. Locking the assignment means that students cannot submit anymore. Submissions enabled. This is where you'll control if a student can attach work and submit it digitally through Schoology. Now, why would you want to unenable submissions? Well, if you do, say, a worksheet in class that you hand collect and plan on grading, or maybe you give a test, a quiz that's on paper that you collect and hand grade, you're still going to need to get this into the Schoology gradebook, and you're still going to want to let kids know that weren't in class or maybe need access to a digital copy of the assignment. Any number of ways that you grade work but they don't turn in digitally, you would unenable the submissions enabled button so that they can't attach work, but you can still assign the assignment and assign a grade. The publish to students just makes it visible or not to the students. The grading statistics always default to disabled. We can change that and you can look at the statistics. This I really only plan on using for my really summative assessments that I'm tracking across standards. Comments default as enabled, and this will let students post comments underneath the assignment so that their comments are tied to the assignment. Some teachers use this as a place for students to ask questions or give help to each other. If you don't want that there, you can simply disable it and it'll go away. And then if you want to make a copy to go to other courses, if you're co-creating this with another teacher, this is where you would do that. When you're all done, you're going to click the purple create button at the bottom of the screen. And when you create that assignment, it will go into the place where you put it. If you added it from your Add Materials button, it'll go to the end. Remember, by clicking and holding, you can move assignments around at any point, at any time, whether it be into unit folders or out of unit folders. You have full control over that at any point in time. If you ever need to go back and edit an assignment, just use your gear icon to go back and edit, unpublish, make a copy to save to your resources. You have all of those options available from there. If you need any help with a particular assignment or embedding some directions that you're not sure on how to do, just fill out one of those help request forms and I will get around to you, and we'll make sure that you're all set up to collect and assess student work throughout the year. Thanks, guys.